Good afternoon, everyone. I first want to apologize about the confusion with the time frame of a go-to session. I would never ask for you guys to come to an overnight go-to session. So in the future, if that ever comes up again, know that on Fridays our sessions are at 11 a.m. and they go to 1 p.m. the afternoon, not 1 a.m. in the morning. I do apologize. I didn't notice it until I went in the session and I sent out a message, so I do apologize for the inconvenience. And I'm gonna go ahead and record a review for you guys to have just as a last reach out before the weekend. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always email me, message me on the platform, or give me a call. Again, so sorry for the inconvenience. And this will be posted just like any recorded go-to session under your announcements and emailed to your @fullsail.edu address. So just as a review, we all have been getting to this point. The very first week, you guys were asked to be audience members and observe TED Talks, observe presenters in a way that you're evaluating their style, you're evaluating their flow, you're evaluating their presence on stage, how they connected or captivated the audience. And this is all a plan set in place to understand your audience. Understanding your audience is the most important thing, especially when it comes to planning your presentation. It is going to give you the direction that you need to go in. Ultimately, you are the navigator. You are the mentor that are placing those GPS coordinates in your system and taking your audience on this journey through your presentation. So the most important thing was to know your audience, who your audience is. And this is not to say just having an idea, okay, Bethesda or a CEO or elementary school students. It's really understanding the dynamics and what you have to incorporate in your presentation in order to get their attention and keep their attention. Your audience is your hero. So going back, everything that we say in this class, everything that you do, all the concepts that you've learned, it all goes back to your audience is the hero. They're the ones that are meant to take the seeds from your hands that you planted in your presentation and help your idea spread and grow. You need them. Ultimately, you need them in order for your journey to take place. So they're highly important. They have to understand the why. They have to understand why, not only why do you care and why you want this to happen, but why should they care? And what's their purpose of being there? So just as you have this idea and you have this presentation, they have to be a part of your presentation, and you need to make them feel as if they're being invited on your journey with you, an active participant, not just a spectator. You have to give them a role in your journey. So knowing who your audience is key. What is your flow? After knowing what your audience who your audience is, you have an awareness and an understanding of what direction you need to go into. Know that ultimately a foundation of a good plan is the elements of the story that we talked about, that beginning, middle, and end. Your beginning is really that call to adventure for yourself. You know, thinking about the hero's journey, that call to adventure, that what is and what could be type of mindset, going back to what Nancy has taught us. That moment of validation, or that moment of decision that made you want to embark on your current path. And that's your why. It's something that I've been commenting on the discussion board for this week. Some of you are sharing that already. You're sharing that definitive moment where it popped into your head and you're like, wow, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to go after. This is my dream. And your flow is those moments, that spark line that Duarte was talking about in the very first week, those pivotal moments within your journey that are going to define what you ultimately want out of this entire process. So your flow is that navigation. Your flow is what is going to keep your audience captivated throughout your presentation, your story. What tools do you need? I know it sounds kind of irrelevant, but it really is relevant. You have to know, like, what images are going to complement what I have to say. Do I need outside people? Do I need a cameraman? Do I need someone that could help me with background music? Do I need an interviewer to make a mock interview? Do I need extras? Like, what tools do you need? Do you need a camera to record yourself? So this is just as important. All of these elements are just as important because it is the culmination of holistically what you need for your presentation. Your message is something that it's clear to you. It's clear to you as the mentor, as the person that is coming up with the idea. It's clear to you and in your brain. But we need to understand that in order to get the audience to see what you see, that message has to be clear to them. It's easy for us to be in the mix of everything and putting forth our ideas and writing all this stuff down on paper. But is this going to be clear to other people? Are they going to be able to get what I'm saying? Are they going to be able to understand my purpose? So your message needs to be clear and defined. Just as it is clear and defined to you, it needs to be clear and defined to them. Anticipate obstacles and be the problem solver. You are going into an unforgiving industry. It's so easy for us as members of society to go on Facebook and complain and just, blast off all these things that are wrong with the world. That everything that's wrong with society, everything that's wrong with the industry, or this movie sucked, or that concert was horrible, I can't believe this person did this, or everybody has an opinion, right? And it's easy. That's the easy part, to just put everybody on blast. The hard part is bringing forth solutions, bringing ideas to the table. Well, okay, you say that this should change, but how are you going to go about changing it? What would you do different within that movie to make it better? What decisions would you have made in order to rectify this situation? So it's very easy to bring the problem to the table, but it's even harder to bring the solution. And rest assured that in a presentation, that is what your audience wants. They can go on Twitter and Facebook and listen to someone complain, but they want solutions, they want answers, regardless of what your audience is. So in an interview situation, you could stand up and say that you're creative and innovative and determined and motivational till you're blue in the face. They've heard it all before. How are you all those people? What can you illustrate to me to make me believe that you're all those people? So, come with the solutions. Don't just come with all the problems of pointing it out, especially if you are, coming to a company and you're pointing out all their faults. I'm sure that's not exactly what they had in mind when hiring on a new employee. But if you came at it where you offered solutions to make their company evolve to get better, that's what they want to hear. And of course, my personal opinion on the most important part of the process is reflect. Again, when you're in the heart of planning your presentation, or you're in the heart of having this innovative idea for either a story or a new invention that'll make life better, when you are in the mix of it, of writing stuff down, there's things that we miss because it makes sense to us. It makes sense in our head about how we want it to look, how we want it to flow, and how we want it to work. But that doesn't necessarily mean that what we have in our head is going to translate to others. So it's highly important to get that objective opinion from the outside. Let other people see or read your stuff. Get their opinions. Get their feedback on, do they get what I'm saying? Do they get my purpose? Do they even understand what I'm trying to convey here? And that is extremely important. It's equally important for us to do this for ourselves. It's important to step outside of the process and come back with a fresh mind. There's frustration, there's stress, there is things that cloud our judgments, and we don't see when you're in the heat of all the planning process going on. So reflect, have others reflect on your process, and have yourself reflect on your process. Okay, so I mentioned this Monday night, there are 3 different choices that you can make in this for your final presentation. So there is the surface of the instructions that you are a full sail graduate and you are thinking of yourself as a graduate, as going through this program, developing all these skills and absorbing everything that you can through the time that you've been here. So what I like to do is push you in going beyond the surface value of the assignment and looking at yourself as having perspective and potential that you haven't even thought of at this moment, and not pigeonholing yourself in any one direction, or thinking that it has to be straight and narrow, and you graduate and you get a job and with a company and that's it. There are so many different things that you can do with your skills that you obtain here. So I offer 3 different choices, and I briefly went over this on Monday night. And the first one is hire me. So hire me is kind of black and white. This is, you have a company in mind, you have a role in the industry in mind. You don't have to focus on any one company. It does help in the researching process if you do, but have several perspectives when you're looking at this option. So it doesn't only have to be Sony Pictures, it could be Lionsgate. It doesn't only have to be Bethesda, it could be Naughty Dog. It doesn't only have to be Disney, it could be Pixar, so, and this could be interchangeable with any degree program. And know that's different, even though they, industry-wise, the companies are viewed as similar because of their genre, they are very different. They're very different in the way that they look at things, their philosophies, their mission statements. So in a hire me situation, what I recommend my students to do is to research the company and look at what their mission statement is. Look at how they brand themselves and what they want to project as a company. And really think about and reflect on, how do you fit into that brand? How do you fit into what they're looking for? And go on the career page. Look at the jobs that have potential and compare them to what your journey is going to be here at Full Sail. Look at the skills that you are going to obtain and make a plan for yourself. Get excited about the things that you're going to encounter, and set some goals and be excited at those goals. Okay, well, this company or this position is looking for XYZ experience. What do I need to do right now, day 1, month 1 in Full Sail? What can I do here to make that happen? To be able to illustrate that I have that potential, and do it. The next one is the buy me situation. Now, in both instances, actually all 3 of these instances, you are selling yourself as a product. Ultimately, that's what personal brand is. We're a product, essentially. It's not just our perception of ourselves, it is the perceptions that others have of us. And it really is in our power as individuals to be able to show that to the world. Our perception of who we are, it's up to us to be able to project that to others. And we do that with action. So even though there are going to be obstacles out in the way, even though there are going to be opposers, there's going to be jealousy, there's going to be haters. It really is up to us to be able to project our perception of ourselves to get other people to perceive who we are based on our actions. And as long as you know who you are deep down inside, then all those haters, all those jealous people are not going to matter, because you know who you are. And as soon as you know who you are, others will know who you are, and they will trust you for that. They will trust you and admire you for being honest. So in a buy me situation, although in both situations, they are taking a risk on you. Whether it is a company or an investor, they're taking a risk on you with time and money. But in a buy me situation, the money is most important, because it's not only, okay, we're investing in a salary base for you. It's, what is our return going to be? What are we going to make from this? What's our profit? Is it even worth the risk? Me. So it's more about what they're going to get out of it than it is the idea. And it's not to sound harsh, but investors want numbers. They want numbers. They want to know ultimately what they're going to get from it, and are they getting enough? So it's a harder sell, but know that unless you are born with a silver spoon in your mouth and you have these grand ideas to open up your own record company or production company, more power to you if you do. But if you're like most of us, starving students, we do not have the capital in order to make that happen. So you need people to make stuff happen, and you have to be humble in order to ask for that help and provide them with enough information that they're ready to open their wallets and write you a check. A join me situation, this is in terms, there's two different avenues that you could take with this. This is in terms of getting a team of creatives. We all know that the industry is versatile, and in order to make something big, you need other people, you need a team of people. So if you think about a big blockbuster motion picture without a soundtrack, or without special effects, without actors and actresses, we all need each other. There's a writer, there is a producer, there's a director, there's lighting, there is even a grip to go get the coffee. So in a join me situation, you are trying to persuade a team of creatives to join you and believe in your idea and believe in your craft enough to give their craft to something that together you can make that is spectacular. Or, a join me situation could be a movement of some kind. But please, if you are going to pick a movement, know that you need to do your research. You need to understand everything that needs to go into creating change. It is not easy. It's not easy. You have the power to do it, but know that you need the support. It's one thing to have an idea. Again, going back to the problem solving. It's one thing to get up there and rally people because of a problem, but in order to get them to join you, come with the solutions, or at least have some solutions and invite others to make it happen. So again, there's a fine line for getting up there and preaching about a problem and getting people to understand that a change has to happen. But in order for people to follow you and join you, you have to be a leader and show them that this is the solution, or these are potential solutions, and I need your help in order to make the change. Okay, so just to briefly go over personal branding, which I've been kind of talking about throughout this entire time, is, be transparent, be honest. I talked a lot about vulnerability, our very first discussion board, and how much I admired those of you that let it go and shared your personal stories with us. It's that vulnerability that connects us as human beings. I've said it before, emotions are universal. That is the universal language between us as a species, and it separates us from being an android to a human being that feels. And that's what connects us to our audience ultimately, is those emotions. It doesn't matter what social economical status we reside in. It doesn't matter what our background is. It doesn't matter what experiences we had or the level of experience we had. We've all laughed. We've all cried. We've all felt pain. We've all celebrated victories on some level. And that's what connects us. As a human race, that's what connects us, the emotions. So if you are transparent, if you're open and honest, your audience is going to feel it. They know when you are being genuine. And this goes along with owning who you are. If you're aggressive and abrasive and cocky, but you know who you are, then be it and own who you are. Know that you're going to have controversy. Know that you're going to get backlash, but it shouldn't matter to you because you are showing your true self, and that's how you feel comfortable. And ultimately, your audience is going to embrace that because they understand that you're cocky and abrasive, but they love you anyway and they follow you anyway because you are open and because you own it. So they don't expect anything else from you because you haven't given them a reason to expect anything else. You've been true to who you are. Be unique. Know that. Have something to stand out. What do you have to offer in order to stand out in the industry? Yes, in this world, there are so many creative, talented people, and so much to bring to the table. But your uniqueness is how you evolve, how you adapt, how you have changed your own little world. What do you have to bring to the table? We are all unique in our own sense. We all have the same type of emotions, but it's how we have cried, or how we have laughed, or how we have chosen to get on that bike again after falling off and scraping our knees. So what are you going to bring to the table? It's one thing to say that you're creative and motivational and determined, but how do you illustrate that? What are your actions? And don't compromise. Be who you are, period. Be who you are. Know when you walk into a situation, know what your limitations are. It's okay to negotiate. That's okay. That's something that you are going to encounter probably throughout your entire career. But know that limit and stay true to that limit. Compromise, especially in relationships, it works, especially when you have a balance, but it can't be skewed and it can't be something that takes away who you are. You won't be happy. So know your limitations. Know that limit of negotiation that you'll reach in order to get what you have to get done. Okay, I talked a little about Simon Sinek's Golden Circle TED Talk, which I think is amazing, by the way, and something that you should look at if you have not already. It's a way to organize your thoughts, and it plays right into the elements of a story, that beginning, middle, and end. Your why, your how, your what. That is essentially the questions that your audience wants answered. So, in your feedback on your plans, you'll find that that's how I structure my feedback for your plans. I will pick out things from your plans that I find will be your strength in these points of your presentation. So I will structure my feedback much like how it is structured here, by picking out things from your plans that I find will fit in to a very strong way, these pillars. And the way that I'm going to close out this video is I'm going to offer a little taste. Using my background, I'll offer a little taste of each pillar of a presentation. It's not a full presentation. Of course, there's things that you would have to elaborate on, but I'll show you a way to start a beginning, or even start a middle, or even start an end, and you can plug in your details. Okay. Live your teaching were the words that had resonated throughout my entire body and soul. Having the opportunity to be witness to growth and be invited to take part in this creative journey is all I've ever wanted. I'm Trish Pearson, educator and forever student of life. My journey is a constant flow of staying open-minded and absorbing all that surrounds me, staying true to who I am and embracing the innocence of my inner child is what has kept me moving forward. On paper, I hold many degrees, but that does not define me. My actions define me. I will always show up for you. I will support your ideas. I will support your dreams. I welcome the opportunity to be invited on your journey. So, my friends, be true, be honest, be vulnerable, let everything go. Share your ideas, have confidence, and know that you know your story. All you have to do is invite others to know your story. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. message me on the discussion board or give me a call. I will post this video up on under your announcements and send it to your email, of course. I will also provide an example of a past final presentation. I will preface that this does not mean this is what I want ultimately. What I want is you. I want your voice. I want your creativity. I want your flow. I'm giving you an example of what you could do for the presentation. Know that it's not perfect, and I would like you to reflect on what you think could be improved. Any feedback that you would give this person, as if they were a classmate of yours in your section. So again, it is the strong presentation. I will tell you that. I'm not going to give you something that isn't strong. It's a strong presentation, but it's not perfect. And but it's a great illustration of purpose and flow. And hopefully it'll give you an idea of the potential that you have. You guys are very capable. You have all the opportunity in the world to utilize the assets that surround you, and I encourage that you do that. So reach out to me as your instructor, reach out to your classmates, and just have fun with it. Have fun. I want you to be invested in what you're doing and understand that it has the potential to grow as you grow. Be excited about that. So get rid of all the reservations that you have about not being ready yet and not being at that stage, and start thinking that you are. And the opportunities are there if you take hold of them. So enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully you get things done by tomorrow, so you can leave Sunday open to relax and breathe a little bit. Don't forget to return back to the discussion board and respond to your classmates. Again, enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you soon.